back to another episode of the Shoot, Edit, Post podcast. I'm your host, Denzel, joined today by a very, very special guest, my beautiful, amazing wife, Michaela. Welcome.
Hey, it's good to be here.
Glad to have you here as a guest on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So the cool thing is, we're going to be interviewing you as a guest because you're a guest here, but I'm also making an announcement for the podcast is we're doing something different. Is now Michaela will be a guest for this episode, but going forward, she will be a co-host.
I'm so excited.
I think it's going to be really cool. I feel like you're going to add a whole new dynamic to it. So yeah.
I think we make a good team.
We do. But yeah, I think it's going to be fun. But yeah, like I said, so for this episode, we're going to treat it. I'm going to still do the interview style like I've done with the other guests I've had on the podcast with you. But like after that, it'll be full-time co-hosts. But yeah, let's just kind of hop into it. I wanted to talk about, I wanted to get you on, first of all, beforehand anyway, because we wanted to talk about your experience as a social media content creator and the experiences you've had with it. And for specifically, we're talking about in this episode, how to pivot as a content creator. Like if you've been doing one thing, how to then handle the shifting to doing something different. And how to go about that. So why don't we just start off with the beginning, what got you into content creation? Tell us about your journey.
Yeah, I feel like my journey to be like making it a career path has been different than I think what most people do. I think most people nowadays see social media as a career path, and so they're just kind of like, oh, that's what I'm gonna do, and then they start to pursue that. But growing up, I would always be wanting to make videos. Like me and my stepsister made videos, me and my cousins would make videos, and they were just like, silly little YouTube videos. And then Vine came out and we would make Vine videos, and it was just like little things here and there. And then also being a photographer, it's also another form of digital content, and so I was just really into that and really wanting to pursue that, but it wasn't until I started doing nails that I took social media a little bit more seriously, because I was trying to build my nail business, because in whatever year I started that, 2021 I think, or 2020, I don't know, one of those years when I started my nails, that was like everybody that had a business was on social media. That's a way to push yourself. That's a way to get like in other people's faces with your business and all the things. So I was just like, you know what, that's what I'm going to do. And so I started creating nail content, and that I felt like got a pretty big following. And when I say big, I mean like to the point of like micro influencing, because I think it's like 1,000 followers to 10,000 followers is like a micro influencer.
Right.
So it got to that point, and I just kind of got tired of doing nail content all the time. So that's when I pivoted to what I do now. So
I guess coming to the realization that you didn't want to do that, to me anyway, I would assume if you've had success, that most people would kind of be like, all right, this is what I need to do. This is what got me successful, and kind of just get themselves stuck there.
Yeah.
But I guess for you, what made you like okay with making that shift to doing something different? And what are you doing now with your content that's different than what you were doing originally?
Yeah. So everybody says like pick a niche, and I was definitely in the niche of nails, the nail world, and more specifically press on nails. So that way, like it was just easier to find. It's like if you're looking for press on nails, that's where you go. But I think I got so wrapped up in the content that I actually, like, my business kind of started to suffer, because I was doing more things for content other than like my nails. So it was like, let me push, but I'm not really receiving the feedback or the orders and things that I want out of this. It's more of like, I'm pushing this to more nail artists, which is fine. But the goal of that was to create it for clients and customers.
Right.
to go from that being in that box of nails, press on nails for press on artists, I was like, I'm just like kind of stuck here, and there's so much more that I want to be able to share and what that I want to be able to do, that this is not allowing me to do. And you brought up a point the other day that I had a podcast even with my nails that was called Cozy Girl Fancy Nails. So I already had that cozy brand to my name. It just, instead of it being about cozy lifestyle, is about nails.
Yeah.
And I just was in like a cozy setting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So let's talk about it. You mentioned the cozy, but let's talk about what you're doing now, content creation wise. Like, how do you define? Because you're like a cozy content creator.
Yeah.
What is that like, and how does that reflect, like, from your personal life? How do you like pull that now into your content creation, and what does that look like?
Yeah. So everything about me is cozy. I even have a blanket today.
On brand.
I asked if I could have the blanket on the podcast. But everything about me is cozy 100% of the time. And I follow a lot of lifestyle creators, and a lot of them have something to them. Like, there's something about the creator that draws people to them. It's not just some random person one day started making videos. It's like, I am this type of lifestyle creator, or like I'm a fitness lifestyle creator, or I'm a Christian lifestyle creator, whatever. It's just like all of these, there's niches within the lifestyle niche.
Right.
And I was like, well, if I'm looking at myself and looking at what other people see when they enter my home, they enter my lifestyle, what do they think? And it's always cozy.
Yeah.
Like, anytime somebody comes in the house, they're like, oh wow, this is so cozy. It's like, it never fails every single time.
Right.
Which is such a compliment to me.
Yeah,
So it's not like I'm like, oh, why didn't you call my house beautiful or whatever? But it's like, it's very cozy. And so
going for it, yeah.
Yeah, so I was just like, I think that's what I want to be known for on social media as well. So everything that I do that's cozy related is just what I do on a day-to-day basis, just adding cozy to the front of everything.
So basically, from just kind of what I'm gathering from what you're saying is, you were doing nail content because you were a nail press on nail artist.
Yes.
So you were like, okay, let me just, if I'm going to do social media content, let me do it around that. But then you got to a place where you got burnt out. You really weren't enjoying that anymore. But instead of getting just stuck there, you decided to just switch. And basically, it sounded like you pull from your personal life stuff that you actually enjoy. So being able to be cozy and that whole brand, you were able to branch out into doing that type of content now. So what was it like though? Because I feel like a lot of people can say, okay, that's cool. You found what you wanted to do and you switched. But you had already built up an audience.
Yeah.
On, I know for a fact, Instagram, you and as well as YouTube.
Yeah.
The podcast, about nails on YouTube as well. So what was that like for each platform? I guess let's start with Instagram. What was that like switching from doing nails to now doing cozy content?
That was a weird switch, because at first I was thinking like, okay, I already have this following on my nail account. Let me just switch my nail account, like just start posting other things. But I feel like on Instagram, if people start to see something they don't really care to see, they're going to start to unfollow. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to do that. I'll just make an entirely different account, which I did. And I remember like posting on my stories, and I think I even made like a regular post and went live or something. And I was like, I have this new business venture, like I'm creating a media company, and I would like for you guys to follow. And everybody that's supporting me here, like, you guys have been so supportive here, like I would think that the support would follow. But like I said, if people weren't going to stick around and follow on the nail account, then why would they want to go follow somewhere else? So I basically had to start from scratch on Instagram, and I'm still not understanding why Instagram doesn't like me right now, but it's okay. But yeah, so that was just a transition, and like now it's like a building.
Right.
I'm building like slowly, but it's still building.
So you're still working. That's still a work in progress. And you
Mm-hmm.
switch. That's one of those where it's like, okay, that was like not a. It wasn't like a seamless transition. That was
Yeah.
like, okay, that was maybe a little bit painful, but you had to switch from what you weren't wanting to do anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So what is that? How has that been looking for you on YouTube?
YouTube is different, a different story.
Oh,
I thought that YouTube was going to be the same as Instagram, and I was like, that's fine. I still think no, I did. I used my nail account.
mm-hmm.
So you can still see all of my nail videos, all of my nail podcasts that I did. And I just started posting what I wanted to post.
Mm.
And there I was like, okay, if people are going to unfollow me, that's fine because I
Yeah.
want to build a audience that wants to be here
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
wants to watch my content because just small tip, you can have a large following but like have no engagement,
Mm-hmm.
and if your goal is for brands to reach out to you or for you to start making money or whatever, the follower count doesn't matter as much as the engagement does.
Mm.
And when you have high engagement, you have brands that will want to work with you because people actually engage with
Yeah.
your stuff, and you'll also be able to get more revenue on things.
That's
So
yeah.
yeah,
That's a good tip. Yeah.
it's a little tip there. But so that's what I wanted to do with YouTube. But I actually found that a lot of the people that followed me on YouTube actually stuck around, and they're still some of my biggest like commenters and likers and
Wow.
subscribers. Like
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know, in YouTube Studio you can kind of see who your like top subscribers are.
Yeah.
And they're all people that have come from the nail community when I was doing
Wow.
nails.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that one was a surprise.
Yeah. So that's cool. So like the idea that okay, I built up this community of people, and I'm hoping that they'll follow me to this new thing I want to do now.
Yeah.
You experienced both sides of it, where obviously you made a whole new account on Instagram, so I'm sure that could play a part in it.
Right.
But with YouTube, you kept the same YouTube, and did you keep the name the same? Did you change the name of your YouTube?
Yeah, I did change the name actually a couple of times.
Okay.
So when I first made it, it was just for the podcast. So it was Cozy Girl Fancy Nails. And then I was like, okay, well, I don't want to just do the podcast. I'll make like longer form nail content. I was like, let me make it what my Instagram name was, which was Nails by Michaela at
Yeah.
the time. And I changed that to that, and then I changed it back to Cozy Girl Fancy Nails because it was going to be just a podcast. And then eventually I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to make this brand me. I'm going to put it my name, and so people know me for being cozy and
Yeah.
not like this name.
Right.
I want them to see me and be like, oh, that's Michaela, the cozy person. So, yeah. And I feel like the name change, I've heard a lot of times, like people are like, stick to your colors, stick to your name, do
Yeah.
all this stuff. I'm not like that. If it doesn't fit my brand and where I'm going to change it because I feel like I have to resonate with what I'm posting and what I'm doing my name under.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one thing that will never change is my name. So I was like, I might as well just go by under my name. So that's that.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So, so you've seen that YouTube seems to be the biggest, sort of like the biggest engagement with people following you and supporters and things like that. So I guess going into it, kind of talk about like how each platform. Do you play to each platform differently, or do you post everything? Like if you do something on YouTube, do you just make like a shorter version of that and do it on Instagram or on TikTok? How does that work for you?
So I think I did do that in the past where I would just like make a form of content and just post it everywhere, and hopefully it would do good on everything. But that's not really the case always because on TikTok I could get like the most engagement, a video could go viral, and then on YouTube and Instagram I'm like seeing like 2-3 views.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well this doesn't work. So I did try to kind of switch my strategy to where I do have a theme for a week or a month or whatever, but I'll make content for different platforms. So as far as like Instagram goes, I think it's a lot about aesthetics. If people go to your profile and they see your profile and they're like, oh wow, this is like so aesthetic and it's aligning with what I want to like follow, then they'll follow you. TikTok, I don't think is that way.
Okay.
I think TikTok is very much like, I just want to be entertained or I want to learn something.
Yeah.
And so you have to play to the people trying to learn and the people trying to be entertained.
Right.
And then YouTube obviously is like the longer form videos. So if I'm talking about coffee, I might say on Instagram or have like a post about coffee, but it might be like this aesthetic video of like me pouring the coffee or the coffee steam or whatever. And then on TikTok, it'd be like, this is how I make my coffee. Boom, 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 boom. And it's like this very fast paced, keeping your attention, showing you how I do something. And I'm noticing that will get a lot more engagement. And then I go to YouTube where I'm like, now I'm going to take my time and show you 3 different ways to make this type of coffee, or I'm going to show you like my 4 favorite coffees that I make, that I drink on a daily basis, or whatever that it looks like for you as a content creator.
So basically, just kind of looking at everything you've talked about so far, the thing I'm really taking away is that as a content creator, you should dictate what your content is and not the other way around. Because what I'm getting at for me, so for example, when I first started doing YouTube, I wanted to do a whole lot of different types of filmmaking things.
Right.
I started seeing so much success with editing videos that I just went full on with that. And I've been fine doing editing videos and I've enjoyed it, but it seems like I have kind of come to a place where I'm like, this isn't fulfilling all the way, nor is it all the way creative, because it's like I'm leaving so much on the table. I'm not trying to do like a whole bunch of different types of random things. It's all about video creation and, filmmaking.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be able to do more than just editing.
Right.
So like, that's why I know recently we talked about it. I've been like introducing more of my other interests with filmmaking.
Yeah.
Talking about like actually putting my short films on there and actually doing things like that. So with that being said, what would you say to somebody, watching who's doing content creation and maybe they aren't feeling fulfilled with what they're doing and they want to switch? What advice would you give to them, or how would you help them to navigate pivoting to the next thing and how to handle that?
Yeah. I think for me, I am not scared to switch up my content. I think a lot of times people are like, my audience doesn't like, it's like you're trying to build an audience that's going to be there for you, not for just one piece of content that you make. I told you the other day that I had a TikTok that went viral at the point, like when I posted it and I made this decision in my head that I was like, I'm just going to use TikTok for hair content, because that's what the video was. I was like trying a new hairstyle for the first time, and I think it was at like 20K views when I said that. I was like, okay, I'm just going to do hair content. At the point of recording this, it's at 120K. Wow. I'm still getting likes, I'm still getting comments, but I wanted to try to do like the whole 12 days of Christmas with my hair. Yeah. And I got to day 7 and I was like, no, I'm not doing this. It just wasn't going to fulfill me. I don't know. I don't do my hair that much. Like it's not something that I want to do. So if I were to have stayed with that, in 7 days, I already was burnt from doing it. Like you're going to continue to get burnt out. So for me, I'm just like, if I don't like the type of content that I'm doing, everybody can take a break. Everybody can go watch something else, and I'm going to take a break, figure out what I want to do, and come back and be even better than I was before. So that's what I would suggest to anybody who's like wanting to pivot out of the niche that they're in already, or is feeling like unfulfilled, like you said. It's like because you're not away from your niche, it's just what you're doing in your niche that you don't really want to continue to do long term. So I think everybody just sometimes has to have a little pivot moment. And if you go back and watch creators that have been on YouTube for a long time, or like TikTok or whatever, if you go back to their very first like content pieces, they're not doing the same thing that they were 20 years ago or 10 years ago. They're doing something completely different. And I think that it's just good to
Yeah.
change.
Or at least a different variation on it.
Yeah.
Even if it's similar, they may have found another way of doing it. You don't
Right.
get stuck to that same
Yeah.
formula. So that's really cool. I think it's also cool, like you saying, like that video went viral for you, but then it's also the video that helped you get monetized on TikTok as well.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also realized that sometimes, I don't know, I think sometimes people's goals in life is to get go viral.
Yeah.
And I think that going viral has its benefits, but it also has its downsides because, like I said, it was a video that I was just, this is TikTok, I'm going to post whatever.
Yeah.
And I ended up posting it and it ended up going viral and now I'm monetized. Yay, me. I'm monetized on TikTok. But then I go to post something else and the people that were there for the hair stuff don't really care about the new stuff.
Yeah.
So I got some followers and I got monetized, but the people that were there for hair don't care about the things that I can give to like get money from being monetized. So it's like a lot of back and forth with monetization in TikTok, but it wasn't like a bad thing because I can still use the monetization for my benefit as well.
Right. Is it important because you're talking about basically pivoting, and I also see that as kind of like juggling. It's like one brand, but it's like variations on your brand, even between different platforms. And then you're kind of navigating this because you've made a whole, media company now for this cozy brand that you're doing and all different content you're making. Do you think that is it important to have a clear vision of what you're wanting to do as a content creator? Because even when you hit like these big milestones, you weren't swayed. So it sounds to me like you have a clear vision of what you want to do as a content creator. Is that important?
Yeah, I would say so. Even like when I was doing nails, I had this vision of, I want my my nail page to be for my clients.
Yeah.
And so even when I was making content and I was getting other people, like other nail artists following me, I was still like, okay, but my page is for my clients. My page is for my clients.
Right.
Until I had another vision to then say, okay, well, since I have all of these nail artists following me, why don't I make a podcast for a nail artist?
Yeah.
It wasn't for everybody. It was just for the nail artist.
Yeah.
And so I had the vision for that, but I think that it's not really good to like go off of the one video that goes viral.
Yeah.
I think if it's like, if a video of like my coffee or books or something went viral, I would have been like, oh, thank you, Jesus.
Right,
Like
right.
that just really helped solidify my following and my audience. But it was a video that was just random.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it also is a point to just post content that you actually are wanting to post and not just random little videos.
That makes sense. I think that's really big.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I had a video that I posted. It was short. And it was like, I think I said a POV of editor's timeline or something like that. And 10-second short on YouTube, I think at this point it's probably like 50, 60K.
Right, yeah.
It might be more than that. I'm not positive. But that was viral for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember trying to recreate that. Like posting that type of thing over and over again, never get anywhere near that in views on another video ever again. And I think that it's like, some people have like that formula down, like I can make any video go viral. But that's, again, to me as a content creator, that's not who they are.
Yeah.
So if you are a person who cracked that formula and can make viral content, I think that is cool. But I bet you that's like, they're probably driven like for that, and that products are fulfilling them. But if it's not, it's hard to keep going, you know? So I think I see the value in building slow, even if it's not the most viral thing. Obviously you have to do good content.
Yeah.
And, you're saying these things, but you are good at what you do. Anybody can go on her stuff and see that it's aesthetically pleasing. She does the thumbnails, the titling. This is not so much about the technical side of it.
Yeah.
That's a given. You got to have all that stuff right.
Right. Yeah.
But you don't have to necessarily chase being viral as a measure of success.
Yes.
And then you also don't have to let the content dictate to you, because to me it's like, You are a content creator. That's what you do.
Yes.
And whatever you decide to do at any point in the next however long you're doing this, it'll be what it is. But if it's not going to change that, you're a content creator.
Yeah.
So the content, you dictate what the content is. And you're making it work for you, and you not work for it.
Yeah.
So that's what the biggest takeaway I get from watching you is that's what we should probably do as content creators.
Yeah. It's just, I honestly just say be yourself, or if you have like a skill or whatever you're trying to, you just want to share, like just share it, but don't try to make it like everybody else is.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, I think there's something to staying like kind of relevant in your niche, but it doesn't have to be so off the walls that it's like, oh, what is this person doing? My thumbnails, if you look at my thumbnails, they're like cozy thumbnails, but I got a lot of inspiration from other people that I watch. Not that I copied, but I had inspiration where it was like warm colors and let's make the font like kind of pretty and do different colors, where there's like people that I know, like in like, for instance, like the DaVinci Resolve, like the editing niche, their thumbnails look way different than what I would ever even think to post as mine. So I wouldn't say go off the walls, and there is like some relevancy, or stay relevant. There is good in being relevant in your niche, but definitely just be yourself and create the content that you want to create, because at the end of the day, if you don't like it, then what's the point? Like what's the point of creating content if you're just doing it just to do it, and you're not liking it?
Right.
So,
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I also am very big on like, I actually like social media. I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I can't stand social media. We shouldn't have it anymore. And sometimes those are people trying to make content. And I'm just like, if you don't, if you don't like the platforms, if you don't like social media, then I would just say, don't be on here. Don't create the content. You're making it hard for all of us. So anyways, but yeah.
No, that's really cool. I think that's some good takeaways you can take from that. Don't let the content dictate to you. You dictate to the content.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not saying to post whatever. Learn the skill sets.
Yeah.
Learn how to make YouTube videos. Learn how to make Instagram, TikTok videos. Each platform has a technical side to it that you got to play to. So do that, but then play within your niche, what you want to do, have your vision.
Yep.
As a content creator. And then if you're in this position where you want to switch, don't be afraid to do it. She's proof that you can do it. So and I guess even if the platform you wanted it to happen on, it didn't happen. You didn't you didn't say, oh, Instagram doesn't like my content, so I give up. You use TikTok and you use YouTube. You got monetized on TikTok. And you're close to monetization on YouTube.
I am very close.
So
very close.
There you go. You just can't give up on that. So
don't give up. Study. I watch a lot of content creation videos as well.
So there you go.
So just with anything, it's like, just put your whole heart into it and just do the thing.
Just do the thing. That's
just
the takeaway we have with that.
Just do the thing.
That's awesome. Well, that's all questions I have for you. So thanks for being a guest. Your last time being a guest.
Oh yeah.
You will never be a guest on this podcast ever again.
Never again.
You'll be, because now you're a co-host. So
get used to me.
Welcome to the Shoot Edit Post team. Glad to have you here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and we look forward to even more content coming soon. Until next time.
Peace.